didn't fail BookTubeAthon at all. I read several books, but I didn't read all the ones I said I was going to read, and I didn't complete all the challenges. But I did a lot of them, so it's not a total fail. I just feel like a failure. My name is Caitlin, and this is Reading, Writing, and More, and I'm going to be talking about today, if you couldn't tell from when the video started or from the title of this video, my BookTubeAthon wrap-up. And as I said, I didn't complete all the challenges, but I completed a few, and I have some interesting things to say about all the books that I read, and I would like to share them with you. Also, at the end of the wrap-up, I'm going to be briefly talking about my August TBR, but it's mostly just school books that aren't very exciting, so it's going to be very, very short, but I just thought maybe you would be interested in that, so let's get to it. The first challenge of the BookTubeAthon was to read a book with blue on the cover, and I decided to read The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I have been hearing so much about this on Tumblr. One person I follow on Tumblr, this is literally all she talks about. She loves it so much, and I was really excited to pick it up because I already knew quite a bit about the series, so I was very interested to see what the writing was like. I love Maggie Stiefvater. A lot of people don't like Shiver, but I loved it, and I was really excited to read it. Also, the book takes place in Virginia, which is where I live, and Virginia is super boring, and this made it seem super exciting, super mystical, and it has blue on the cover in multiple places. So I really enjoyed this. I'm actually probably going to be doing a bigger, longer talk about it because I have a lot to say about the Raven Boys. I might wait until I read the rest of the series. I might not. I don't really know. I will definitely be talking about the Raven Boys in some capacity, though, because I absolutely loved this book. I read this one in the middle of the week. I read it in one day. This one took me a little bit longer to read, but it was really, really good. And if you haven't read any of the Raven Cycle books, definitely do it. I enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to pick up The Dream Thieves and Blue Lily Lily Blue, because The Raven King comes out next year, I think in March. I'm not 100% positive on it, but I really liked this. I'm going to be doing a bigger talk about it, but if you haven't read it right now, I'm just going to recommend it. 5 out of 5 stars I gave this. It's amazing. Go read it. Go read it now. The second challenge of the BookTubeAthon was to read a book written by an author whose last name starts with the same letter as your last name. I was going to read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne, and it didn't happen. But I did do the third challenge, which was to read someone else's favorite book. So I read one of my really good friend's favorite book. This actually isn't her favorite book, but is the first book of her favorite series, and that is The Rangers Apprentice, Ruins of Gorlan. I actually was reading it, and I realized I have actually already read this book. I read it a year or two ago, I guess. I can't really remember. It's okay. It's not amazing. It's a middle grade book, so the writing also is kind of just like, it's okay. My brother is reading them, though, and he's getting them one by one, and I don't have to pay for them, which makes the books very attractive to me. I might continue the series because the last 40 or 50 pages, when the story really started to get going and there was stuff happening, were actually very good and very enjoyable. This was a very quick read for me. It took 4 hours, I believe. I read this earlier in the week. I actually think I read this on the first day. Yeah, I read this on the first day. I did like it. I think I would give this like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was okay. Didn't hate it. Didn't love it. But if you're into medieval spies, I think this is the only book that I've ever heard of that's what it's about. So if that's something that you're into, definitely look into these, I guess. The fourth challenge was to read the last book that you acquired, and right before the BookTubeAthon, I went to the bookstore and I picked up 2 books, and one of them was Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jessie Andrews, and I had actually just seen the movie, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to pick up this book and read it, because I had heard that the movie is a very accurate depiction of the book, or adaptation, not depiction. Well, I guess depiction works too. But anyways, I heard that the book and the movie are pretty similar, and I loved the movie. It made me laugh, it made me cry. Very good. Me and Earl and the Dying Girl is very good. I love the writing style. It's hysterical. It keeps you laughing because it's written by kind of a high school graduate, and he's literally just rambling. He's just like writing whatever comes to his head, so there's like some paragraphs where literally at the end of them he's like, That was stupid. I don't know why I wrote it. But I really, really liked this book. I'll probably be doing a book talk about this one as well because I really liked it and I have a lot to say about it. Also, the chapter titles are hysterical. They're really funny. Did like this. Moving on. The next challenge, which is the 5th challenge, was to read a book without putting it down. And I read The Giver by Lois Lowry. I read this at right when the clock struck midnight on the first day. Right when it was that Monday, August 3rd, I whipped this out and was like, let's go. And I read the whole thing in 2 hours, and I didn't think such a small book could make me cry so much. Everybody was forced to read this in 5th or 6th grade, and so many people told me that they didn't like it and they didn't get it, and I totally understand why. This is not a book that I would have 5th and 6th graders read. This book, I mean, the only thing that comes to mind when I think about this book is that quote from Harry Potter that Ollivander tells Harry in the first book when he picks out the wand that is the brother or sister, however you want to put it, wand to Voldemort's. He says, Voldemort did great things, terrible, yes, but great, and that's definitely how I would describe this book. Read this. If you haven't read it, read it, and if you were forced to read it in like middle school and you didn't like it, read it again. This is another one that I'm going to be doing a book talk on because I have a lot of things to say about it. It's a beautiful book. Easily 5 out of 5 stars. The 6th challenge was to read a book that you have really been looking forward to reading, so I had decided that I was going to read The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson, and I picked it up on Friday, and I only got a whopping 27 pages into it before I put it down, and then I didn't pick it back up again. I liked it. It's not like it was bad and I put it down because I didn't like it. I just kind of got super busy in the weekend and I didn't get to finish it. And I'm really upset about that because I don't know when I'm going to get time to finish it. Hopefully I'll be able to finish it sometime this month. I did like it. I didn't really complete that challenge. I guess I attempted, and that should stand for something. I can't rate this book because I didn't finish it. But I like it so far, I guess. The last challenge was simply to read 7 books, so you kind of got to pick whatever book you wanted to read. And I was planning on reading Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. And as you can see, I did start it. I got about 75 pages into it. And then I put it down because it was taking me too long to read it. Like, those 75 pages took me about 5 hours. And it wasn't that it was bad, because it's good, but it's not as good as it was hyped up to be, which was really disappointing me. So I stopped reading it and picked up The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, because it's really small, and I thought it would really jumpstart me, and I did read it. I read the whole thing, and I've actually started this book multiple times and only gotten halfway through, and then I put it down, and then it's so small that I lose it. But I finally did read it. I really liked it. Super, super, super cute. And yeah. Really quickly before I go, I'm going to go through my August TBR. As I said, it's mostly just books for school. I'm not going to really talk about what they are. I'm probably just going to say what they are and who wrote them. So the first book that I have to read is The Dante Club by Matthew Pearl. It's a murder mystery. The next book I have to read is On Hallowed Ground by Robert M. Poole. It is about Arlington National Cemetery. And the last book I have to read is The Greatest Generation by Tom Brokaw. I'm pretty sure it is about the post-World War II people, or current, or people who were alive during World War II. I'm not really sure. They all look really boring. It takes me forever to read books from school, so there's really not any fun reading books on my TBR for August, but I can say that I'm 100% definitely going to be reading and finishing The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas, which is a collection of novellas about the Throne of Glass series. I finished Heir of Fire today, and I'm still very upset, so I'm probably going to be starting this very soon. That's it for this video. If you liked it, then give it a thumbs up and comment and subscribe, or do whatever it is that you do. If you did the BookTubeAthon and you read any of the same books that I did, comment down below what you thought about them. And if you also did the BookTubeAthon and you read books that I didn't read, then still comment down below and tell me about how you did for the BookTubeAthon. Okay, I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.